My name is Sam. I'm an online business owner, and I'm recording this video to do a quick review of my time spent with Scott Oldford and his brands, various programs that I've participated in since approximately 2020. I'm recording this video a few years after the fact, after first meeting Scott in his 5-day marketing and sales workshop back in 2020, which was obviously a crazy time going on in the world. And since that point in time, I've learned a tremendous amount from Scott, both in terms of his frameworks and approaches to business and just his overall sort of philosophy and way of moving through life. Scott's definitely the type of person that when you meet in your life, he creates a instant shift in your perspective and the amount of wisdom that you have that you can deploy both in your business and in your life. So after participating in that 5-day marketing and sales workshop, he had various programs that were called different things at the time, but essentially an accelerator program, a intensive program that was a small group, and then I eventually moved into working with him in a more intimate capacity from that small group to then doing some one-to-one work together. And through all of those experiences, there's a few key themes and important things that you would need to know in making the best decision for you and your business. The first is Scott is not the flash in a pan, blow up your business to create an impressive Stripe screenshot type of mentor, advisor, or coach. Scott really is truly more of a mentor advisor than a coach, and he's not necessarily going to do something for you just to create an impressive before and after photo. My background is primarily in the health, fitness, and nutrition space, and sometimes you'll see people where they will do something to a client that's not in their best interest long-term, only to create a very short-term transformation. Scott is not short-sighted in that way, and he can see things from a number of different perspectives, and usually he's doing things with long-term health, sustainability, and viability in mind. And that's why I think he's best suited for someone, not necessarily as your first mentor or first coach or first program that you would ever do, but someone who really can provide depth. And as you move towards a place of expansion in your life and in your career, he can give you that wisdom and perspective that you need, since he's been a part of many businesses himself. He's built his own online business. And as someone who has great life experience, having been, $1 million in debt, navigated out of that, and also built a team of his own, he's someone that you can certainly learn from that life experience. I learned to look at other elements of business. So Scott talks a lot about the 5 currencies, and this is something that I've used myself in my own business, and something I even teach folks that I work with, is being able to understand areas of growth and development outside of just money, right? I learned the importance of audience and building not only personal brand, but building your audience and your Rolodex in terms of, a substantial email list, text list, and other ways of contacting people through digital marketing. Scott is definitely someone who has that digital marketing prowess and experience to really be able to help you in that area. I think he has a different and somewhat unconventional approach to finance, which was very helpful for me in creating my own sort of board of advisors in terms of financial advice related to my life and my business, because CFPs and CPAs can have a very specific viewpoint based on their education, their training, and experience. And Scott is someone who can understand where they're coming from, but also provide a very different viewpoint when it comes to finance. So in terms of digital marketing, my main learnings with Scott and things that I developed was the ability to grow audience and substantially increasing my audience during the time that we worked together through a combination of organic content and advertising, and just learning different strategies for that and having a better understanding of really how that all works together as an ecosystem. In terms of finance, I think the words I would use again would be wisdom and perspective, but also having an alternative viewpoint so that you're not solely in that 9-to-5 W-2 employee mindset when it comes to your finances, as someone who's an entrepreneur and business owner, and understanding how to leverage certain aspects of finance for your growth, and also shifting your business models in order to enhance profitability and the way that you move through your business, and just how you might want to structure your offers even for your clients. So I think that's been incredibly helpful. And then strategy. So Scott is someone that I think can look at a business, and strategy is kind of the name of his game. He likes to look at different potential avenues. Fortunately, when I met Scott, I had an initial offer in place that we were able to build on. I didn't have to drastically change my strategy, but he did use that strategy brain to provide support related to either digital marketing, finance, or ways that we might go about generating leads for our flagship offers and programs. So I appreciate his thought process related to business models, related to how we might want to deploy strategy for a specific offer, or how you might want to create an ecosystem of offers to feed kind of your main bread and butter offer and things of that nature. So while I think some of the biggest sort of metrics of improvement or growth that I've experienced in my time with Scott primarily would be related to audience and building my email list significantly, where we're about 3 to 5 times where we were previously. Also having an understanding of how to work with different ads professionals or agencies, or leveraging things like sponsorships that I did not do previously. In terms of my team, when I hired Scott, I was a pseudo-solopreneur with one sort of core person and a number of contractors. We had quite the bloated contractor team, and I learned how to create a very strong, close-knit, smaller team. Now, while Scott isn't necessarily someone who will create a lot of public-facing education around team management, and that's certainly not his foremost passion, he's still someone who understands team dynamics, mentoring and developing people, because he's mentoring and developing people all the time in more of a mentorship and advisory capacity. So my team has certainly grown to where now we're at about 4 core team members in that time frame. We've also had that audience growth. And then from a business perspective, we've really been in more of a stabilization phase. So while we grew fairly rapidly, so from, I guess, 2020 to 2021 was my major growth year from a percentage perspective, experiencing the greatest shift in my business, and then slight growth from 2021 to 2022. Really from 2022 through 2023, learning how to stabilize, maintain, and sustain the growth that we had achieved, which is something that I don't know that most people on the internet would advise you to do. So many people are seeking that quick dopamine hit and very short-lived success, and they would increase those financial numbers again just for some sort of before and after, or to have that temporary short-lived feeling of success, when in reality it may not be what's best for you long term. So Scott really helped to create perspective for me around building a business in a way that you could sustain profitability, the amount of expenses that you would have to scale quickly, the costs of scaling quickly, and just being able to think through things from a number of different perspectives, and then determining really what's best for me, or in your case, if you're watching this video, what's best for you. So Scott may not be your first mentor or your first coach or advisor, and he's probably better suited for someone that has a little bit of baseline understanding of business and needs help and needs support, but you're someone who craves someone who has a little bit higher level thinking, strategy, and the ability to see different problems from a number of different perspectives. He's been involved as an investor and as a mentor for a variety of different digital businesses. And he's also someone who, through his experience as an investor, even encouraged me to get into more investing, such as angel investing myself, in addition to traditional investments that CFPs and CPAs and folks like that may encourage you to do. So overall, I would say key themes: the wisdom and perspective provided by Scott, which is fitting since he now owns a portfolio of companies called the Wisdom Group. That was certainly something that I benefited from. The ability to scale audience and team during our time together is something that I appreciated having support with. And the third thing is not only related to business and business models and growth models and strategy, but also understanding the strategy of not only being a business owner, but what it looks like to go from entrepreneur and business owner to also being an investor as well. I hope that this video was helpful for you. Most of all, I think Scott will be genuinely honest with you if he feels he can help you or not. There may be a fit. And in my case, I've benefited from having Scott in my corner for a substantial period of time now, and we've gotten to know each other over a number of years, both through the one-on-one coaching, half days, various accelerator programs and workshops. And I think regardless of the capacity or regardless of the exposure that you have to Scott, he's someone that if you are in the right frame of mind and you adopt a mentality of being a lifelong learner and trying to absorb that wisdom and experience, I think you're someone who can benefit and apply that information in your own life, so long as you're an action taker and you understand that he's not going to do the work for you. You still have to put your own skin in the game and put one foot in front of the other, or as Scott says, chop wood, carry water. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it helps. And again, that's just kind of my experience working with Scott.